I'm going to show you some of the accessories that are available for the Sony DSC-RX100 III camera. I've just recently written a book called Photographer's Guide to the Sony DSC-RX100 III, and this is a sampling of some of the accessories that are discussed in the book. This first one is the official Sony case for the camera. It is designed to fit this camera and a couple of earlier similar models. It's a very nice looking case. It's not leather, though it looks like leather. It's made from synthetic material, and it snaps together. The two halves of it snap together and fit snugly over the camera. It can fit with the filter adapter base ring in place, as you can see here, though it would not fit with the optional grip attached to the front of the camera. And it does not have any space to hold other items such as memory cards or extra batteries. It does have a nice matching black strap that you have to loop through the two little loop handles on the sides of the case there. So that's a very nice case, a little bit expensive. If you want a less expensive alternative, there's another case available from a brand called Camson. I purchased this one from Amazon.com, sold by a seller by the name of Wall Street Photo, a store in New York City. It's I think it only cost around $20 or so, and it's a very nice looking case, which they say is actually made from leather. It's of course brown, and it's similar to the construction of the Sony case. It snaps together in two halves, fits snugly over the camera. It doesn't really have much extra room for anything, but it will fit. It's a little bit of a looser fit, and it will fit over the filter adapter ring. And as you can see, the back area of the case is a little bit more of a loose fit there with some leeway, which you may or may not like. And it has the two loops or hooks for holding a matching brown leather strap. So those are two alternatives if you want a case that actually just fits the size of the camera. Here's one that has a little bit of extra room. It has a pocket inside. It's a little bit hard to see there, but inside there's a little pocket where you could put an extra battery or a memory card or other small item. This is a semi-hard case made by Sony for various Sony models. It will fit this camera or any other small camera, and it does offer a decent amount of protection for perhaps a short drop of the camera, because it's a semi-hard case, and it's a very nice feeling case. It has the Velcro attached loop area on the back that you could loop over a belt, and it has a matching strap. Here, this is just a generic case that I picked up at an outdoor sporting goods store. This one happens to be called the Eagle Creek Waist Pack, and a pack like this is very useful, I have found, for day trips or hikes with the camera. It has plenty of room for the camera and any number of accessories, filters, batteries, memory cards, whatever you'd want to take along. And it also has a couple of pockets, which I really like, on the sides where you can put a small bottle of water. You could actually have two small bottles of water, which I often do when I'm going on a trip with the camera. Actually, you can get the bottle further into the pocket, as I did on this other side here. So you can carry a couple of bottles of water, camera, and accessories in that case, or any similar case. This is the optional Sony battery charger, BC-TRX, that you can use if you want to charge batteries outside of the camera. Normally, of course, you have to plug the USB cable into the camera to charge the battery inside the camera, but I and a lot of other people find it much more convenient to also be able to charge batteries when they're outside of the camera, so you can get some extra batteries ready to go. As soon as one battery runs out, you can just pop in another battery that's fully charged. So this charger is convenient for that purpose. It has at least the United States version of it has the folding out prongs. Here's a generic charger, which is similar to that other one. It's a little bit less expensive, and it works fine also. It just has the folding out prongs, and you plug it into the electrical outlet. You stick the battery in, and it charges up outside the camera. The battery I'm going to show you here is just a generic battery. that replaces the genuine Sony battery. But I found that this battery and probably other brands of generic battery work just as well as the official Sony one. Of course, you may prefer the peace of mind that comes from having the actual Sony battery, which I generally do. But this one has worked fine for me. You have to put it in kind of upside down, as I first here tried to put it in right side up. Then you flip it over and it snaps into place. Then you just plug it into the outlet and it charges right up. This item here is the Sony AC adapter. It's actually also the charger that you used with the original RX100 model, and for some reason they stopped shipping it with the cameras in the United States. And yet now you can buy it as an optional accessory, and if you plug this into the camera, now you can actually run the camera off of the AC power. So that works as the AC adapter for this model of camera. This is the filter adapter VFA-49R1. This was originally made for the RX100 and RX100 II models. I found that it worked okay with the RX100 III. There may be a slight amount of vignetting because it was not exactly designed for this camera and lens. But if there is any vignetting, it was very hard to notice and minimal, and you could just zoom the lens in slightly to avoid that problem. Installing the adapter was a little tricky, at least the version that I had, which was designed for the earlier models of the camera. The installation tube didn't fit this lens exactly. But once you get the filter base ring installed, as it already was here, the adapter has worked fine for me. Then you put on the second piece, the adapter itself, which bayonets onto the base ring, and then you can use any 49mm diameter filter. And just then I showed you an infrared filter installed. Something else that I like to do with this adapter, which you can do if you're careful, because the adapter won't support a lot of weight, but if you avoid making it support the weight of the other items, you can use a telescope eyepiece, a standard, in this case a Meade telescope eyepiece with a 1.25-inch diameter that will go into any standard telescope or spotting scope, and then you can use the camera to connect to the scope and get really good pictures of the moon or of birds, animals, any other distant objects. In order to do this, first of all, you have to connect the telescope eyepiece to a couple of adapter rings. I get them from a company called telescopeadapters.com, which provides a pretty good variety of adapters. In this case, it's the digikit for 49mm accessories. You have to attach first that one piece there using an Allen wrench to tighten up the screws. Then you attach this second adapter ring, which steps it up to a 49mm diameter. And once you get that screwed on, this whole assembly will screw into any camera lens that accepts 49mm accessories. Now, so here we bayonet on the filter adapter for the Sony camera, and then screw in this assembly that has now a 49mm adapter, and there we have a camera attached to a telescope eyepiece ready to insert into a spotting scope or a telescope. Then, of course, it can be a little bit tricky to focus and get the exposure right, but my book discusses that. Here is the Celestron Regal spotting scope that I used to take some pictures with this setup. Again, there's some sample images in the book. Maybe just one sample image in the book, I can't remember right now. So this is how you just lock the telescope eyepiece with the camera attached, lock that in place into the spotting scope, put the spotting scope on a very sturdy tripod. See there, you turn on the camera, and you'll be able to view what the spotting scope sees on the camera's LCD, and fire away. Here are the two grips that I'm aware of. There actually may be a third or other grips, but this first one here is the Sony grip. This is actually the Sony AG-R1, which was made for the earlier models. It may not be a perfect fit, but it will give you the general idea. They have a newer one now, the AG-R2. It just fits on the front of the camera, gives you a little extra gripping capability on the front. This is the Richard Franiec grip, which is a slightly different design, made of aluminum, very nice looking grip that you glue onto the front of the camera, again to give you a little bit of a better hold on the camera. Some people find that the camera is so smooth and small that it's hard to get a good grip without one of those accessories. This is the Sony Remote Commander or Remote Control model RM-VPR1, which fortunately is able to connect into the multi-port of the RX100 III camera. You have to get, there's two cables that come with the remote. You take the one that has the ends that will fit into the multi-port, connect one end into the remote and the other end into the multi-port, which is the upper of the two ports on the right side of the camera. Plug that in and now you're ready to go. You can power up the camera and you can change the lens's zoom length, and you can take pictures, and you can start and stop videos using the buttons on the remote control. It's very convenient, of course, for avoiding camera shake, for self-portraits, and for various other situations where remote control is useful when you're using the camera. And this is the book that I recently published on the camera. It discusses those accessories and a few others. And it also, of course, provides guidance about the various options and features and controls of the camera, how to get really good pictures with this camera model. It's available in this paperback form, also in downloadable electronic formats. And if you want more information, go to my website at whiteknightpress.com.